Yo, what's good everyone? Today I'm going to be breaking down some of my favorite DraftKings plays for tonight's 12-game slate in the NHL. So let's get right into it. And as always, we're going to kick things off here by highlighting these 12 games tonight, showing you the money lines and over-unders. First set of games here, we got the Oilers at Blue Jackets, Canadiens at Hurricanes, Flyers at Panthers, Maple Leafs at Bruins, Capitals at Penguins, and the Calgary Flames taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Next set of games here, we got the Blues at Devils, Sabres at Predators, Wild at Coyotes, Canucks at Golden Knights, Islanders at Sharks, and the Ottawa Senators taking on the Los Angeles Kings. And then here's a quick schedule update for this week. Video here today and tomorrow. Also going to be breaking down that 8-game slate in the NHL on Saturday in my Discord. If you have not joined my Discord yet, it is completely free to do, and there's a link to do so in the description below of this video. With all that said, let's dive into a couple of line stacks that I like here for tonight. Now, two things I want to mention here quickly. Again, 12-game slate, 24 different teams to choose from. There's a lot to love about this slate in general. And number two, and more importantly, the trade deadline is tomorrow, so we're likely going to see some things get shaked up here today. Make sure you keep an eye on that. Again, with that said, one of the lines that I do like here tonight is that first line for the New York Islanders. We got Horvat centering Nelson and Barzal. Now, these three have actually just played their last 4 games together. Obviously, they have a lot of familiarity playing together on that number 1 power play throughout the year, but for the first time, we're seeing them play 5-on-5 together, and in those 4 games, they've combined for 7 goals, 7 assists, 14 points, and 36 shots on net. And again, I love the strong correlation we're getting with these three, all playing up on that Islanders number 1 power play, especially in this matchup here against San Jose, a team we've picked on all year long. They allow 3.89 goals per game, the most in the NHL, while having the league's 3rd worst penalty kill, hitting at just a 74.5% rate. And then another line stack that I like here tonight is that first line for the Carolina Hurricanes. We got Aho centering Svechnikov and Teravainen. Now, I want to mention here, if you want to get even cheaper in this game, and especially with the Hurricanes, I have no problem rostering that second line with Drury centering Bunting and Natchez. All 3 of those guys get time on the power play, and they're going to open up a lot of things throughout the rest of your lineup. This first line, however, does offer more upside most nights, and there's a lot of chemistry between these 3. They've been playing together for years now. We're going to see Aho and Svech play up on the number 1 power play. Teravainen plays down on the number 2 power play, but a great matchup at home here against Montreal, a team that's allowed 3.48 goals per game this year, the 7th most in the NHL, while having the league's 4th worst penalty kill, hitting at just a 74.5% rate. Now, folks, before we dive into some of my favorite individual plays here, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Alright, now diving into some of my favorite individual plays here, we're going to kick it off with the forwards. Right at the top, I do like Leon Draisaitl here tonight, priced at $8,000. Anytime you're going to get him at around a $2,000 discount off of McDavid while playing up on that first line in number 1 power play, it's going to catch my attention. He's got 17 points here in his last 10 games, averaging close to 16 DraftKings points per game, and no reason to think that first line with him, McDavid, and Hyman can't dominate in this game tonight against Columbus, one of the worst teams in the NHL. I also like Sam Reinhart, and Florida's obviously going to shake some things up here today. My guess is we're going to see Tarasenko play up on that first line with Barkov and Reinhart, and then we'll see Verhaeghe drop back down to that second line with Bennett and Tkachuk, where he is familiar playing with those guys. But right now, Reinhart is on an absolute tear. In his last 5 games, he's got 6 goals, 2 assists, 18 shots on net, averaging 21 DraftKings points per game, and I do like the matchup at home tonight against Philadelphia. We'll see Reinhart play on that first line and number 1 power play. I also like the matchup for the LA Kings here tonight at home against the Ottawa Senators, a team that's allowed 3.59 goals per game this season, the 3rd most in the NHL, while having the league's 2nd worst penalty kill, hitting at just a 74% rate. I really like the way that Kevin Fiala's been playing as of late. 6 goals, 6 assists, 12 points in his last 10, averaging close to 15 DraftKings points per game. Now dipping into the 4K range here, Timo Meier's starting to find his game here as well for the Devils. Probably the best hockey he's played since November. He's got 4 goals, 3 assists, 20 shots on net, averaging close to 15 DraftKings points per game over his last 6 games, playing up on that first line with Hischier and on their number 2 power play. And then Gustav Nyquist, he's been kind of a staple guy in the 4K range for us all year long. He's got 5 goals, 8 assists, 13 points in his last 10. Not a guy who has heavy shot volume, but clearly capable of getting on the score sheet. He really just benefits from playing playing on that first line with O'Reilly and Forsberg, as well as up on that number 1 power play. Now, moving on to the defensemen here, and there are a handful of spend-up options that I like tonight. You can see I'm highlighting Evan Bouchard of the Oilers, but at the bottom I do mention that I like Roman Josi and Noah Dobson as well. But Bouchard here, 3 goals, 9 assists, 12 points in his last 10, averaging 13 Draftkings points per game, and it really just makes sense to stack him up with any one of those forwards on the number 1 power play for Edmonton. Now we're going to dip into some of the value here as well. I like Brady Shea tonight, and I even more so like him if you're going to be playing that second line for the Carolina Hurricanes. Again, Drury, Bunting, and Natchez. If you stack those 4 together, you're going to get exposure to that number 2 power play, and guys who get big minutes, a good matchup at home against that Montreal team. Now dipping into the 3K range here, Cam York has a tough matchup tonight against Florida. I understand that, but his numbers have been lights out over his last 5 games, where he's had 3 goals, 1 assist, 10 shots, 18 block shots, averaging 16.6 Draftkings points per game, crushing value at his current price, logging around 21 minutes a night, playing on the Flyers' number 2 power play, and their penalty kill. I also like Ryan McDonagh here, the Nashville Predators, playing really consistent hockey as of late. 1 goal, 7 assists, 8 points in his last 10, 20 block shots, I really like that, averaging close to 10 Draftkings points per game, and someone who logs around 22 minutes a night, playing on the Preds' number 2 power play, and their penalty kill. And then I got a couple of goaltenders there for you, and if I'm looking to spend up tonight, hard to go wrong with this Florida Panthers team. Sergei Bobrovsky's been lights out as of late. You can see his season stats there, but look at his last 10 games. He's got 9-1-0 with a save percentage of .948, goals allowed average of 1.49, averaging 20.5 Draftkings points per game. The Panthers are home favorites tonight against the Flyers at -225, and they've gone 12-2-0 since the All-Star break. And then if I'm looking to save some money here tonight, Jacob Markstrom stuck out to me. I know this is a tougher matchup on the road here against the Tampa Bay Lightning, and there's a lot of trade rumors going around with this Calgary team right now, but he's still playing some really solid hockey. He's 7-3-0 in his last 10, save percentage of .913, goals allowed average of 2.65, averaging close to 16 Draftkings points per game. And as always, going to wrap up these DraftKings plays here with 3 low-priced options or sub-4K forward plays. First guy that I got is Pierre-Luc Dubois, the Los Angeles Kings. He remains centering that third line, but getting opportunity right now up on that number 1 power play, being that Kempe is on the IR, so I like that opportunity considering the matchup tonight against the Ottawa Senators. Anthony Duclair, he's obviously trying to get traded out of San Jose, playing some really good hockey here as of late, up on that first line and number 1 power play for the Sharks. Same thing here with Lars Eller. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him traded by tomorrow. Currently getting opportunity up on that first line with Sidney Crosby and Rickard Rakell, as well as playing up on the Penguins' number 1 power play, plus a little revenge narrative there against his former team in the Washington Capitals. And then for those of you playing prize picks, I will be posting a couple of picks later on here today, both on my Twitter, give that a follow, as well as in my Discord, which again is completely free to join. If you want to do that, there's a link to do so in the description below on this video. If you can't find that link, just leave me a comment, and I'm happy to send you an invite there. Alright everyone, that is going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank y'all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's have ourselves a great day here, folks. Let's win some money on this 12-game slate. And in the meantime, I'm out of here.